Hi, this is my neuroscience honors option final video. So a brief overview of my activity is I'm going to be teaching 3rd and 4th grade students about the different parts of a neuron. They will learn the importance of a neuron and how its basic function is to communicate to other neurons to send signals and basically just how the body communicates is through nerve signals, and the way that they are being sent to each other is through neurons. So the learning objectives of this activity will be to identify or list the 5 parts of a single neuron, describe the main function of dendrites, explain why myelin is important in an axon, and identify the purpose of an axon. They will be cutting out the different parts of a neuron, which are pre-cut in this activity, and then they will be putting each part together and pasting the function on the back. They're going to be coloring in the neuron to whatever color of their choice that will help them remember the part and the function. So this is my student, and she is going to be coloring and putting together the neuron after I tell her what each part does. So Molly, we have the 5 basic parts of a neuron are the axon, the soma, the dendrites, myelin, and the axon terminal. The axon is the middle part of the neuron, and that's going to be responsible for carrying the nerve signal down the neuron. Now, the dendrites are what receive all the information. So, the dendrites first receive the information from other neurons. They're going to basically, it's like me sending a message. The receiver of the message is the dendrites. Then, the soma holds all the information together. All the information that's received by the dendrites, the soma is going to hold it all together. The myelin is the part that insulates the axon, so it provides protection. You need protection because the axon is what is sending down all the information. So the soma gets all the information that gets sent down the axon. The axon terminal is the ending of the entire neuron, and that's the part that's going to shoot out the information to a different neuron. So what I have here is we have the axon, we have the neuron, the basic structure laid out here. We have these parts that, and this is all the different parts. Now, Molly, based on the information, can you guess what part is the receiver? Can you kind of identify what part is what?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
So this is the soma in the center, the cell body. And then these are the dendrites, which receive all of the information. This is the axon, and then this is the axon terminal. And then these squares are going to be the myelination that goes on the axon.
Exactly. So you can just color this stuff in, and then at the end we're going to paste the function and the name labeling of all the different parts onto it to just to kind of help you remember for the future. Now while you're coloring, I'm just going to kind of give you an overview of why we're doing this. Neurons are the main way that our brain communicates with each other and how it communicates to other parts of the body. So these little neurons are kind of like collecting all the information that your body is signaling to the brain. So for example, if you get hurt, your neurons are going to be sending signals to your brain that you're in pain, and that kind of helps the pain response or explains why a response happens in your body. So what you're coloring right now is the dendrites are going to receive that signal of being in pain. The somas kind of hold all that information together, and then it's going to get sent down the axon to the terminals and sent to other neurons. So can you just guess where all of them would go together, and then we're going to glue all these parts together. Got some tape for you.
Thank you. So this stick is my axon. So that'll be where he goes. She goes, they go,
Um,
we go, he, she, we, wombo.
and then we also have the functions listed out here. So based on what I've said, can you guess what the function, which one of these functions makes the most sense for an axon?
Carries information received away from the cell body down toward the axon terminal.
Mm-hmm. Good job. So
Thank
you
you.
Put that on the back or the front, whichever one you'd like.
So I'm going to connect the axon with the dendrites and cell body that surround it. So the axon is going to be connected that way. The cell body is in blue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's relevant.
Could make these smaller.
It'll be covered up in a label. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The dendrites receive information that the other cells send to them. Thanks, teacher.
You're welcome.
You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
I'm learning so much.
I really hope so.
Nailed it. Alright, those are going to be the prettiest neuron you've ever seen in your life.
And then, what do you think those squares are?
That's my myelination.
And do you remember what myelination, why it's important?
Yeah, it helps the signals travel faster, protects them. It's like a sheath of speed.
Right, yeah. It's like kind of just like holds it like protects the axon, just kind of makes sure none of the information down the line gets lost.
Does it? It helps with speed.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you imagine?
Huh?
So could you imagine?
Add an area here, that's where all the information gets sent down to. So that's kind of the ending. So can you guess what that would be?
Axon terminal.
Good job.
Thank you. I know that because I watched The Terminator.
Cool.
Do I need to label it?
Yeah, so all the functions are here, and I kind of just want you to label or guess what it would be.
Oops, I forgot to label the myelin. Myelin are pink squares.
Yeah.
Because pink is protective. They provide support and cushion so that the axon can travel faster.
Nice job.
And then
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. I was about to make one for myself. Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The soma is the cell body.
Nice job.
And it holds and processes all the information received from the dendrites.
Mm-hmm. And then we have one last definition.
The axon terminal is the end of the axon that forms a space between one neuron and the next neuron.
Yeah.
Finished.
So this is the final product that the student could take home with them. It kind of just identifies each part of the neuron and gives them the definition in case they forget. So my self-reflection for this activity is that it was really helpful because the feedback helped me understand what parts in my video were lacking and the components that I was missing. It also helped me realize that some of the information might be a little bit too complicated for the third grader to understand, or it wasn't clear enough, and I want to make sure if they're learning about a neuron that they understand what's going on. I think Dr. Hedges had us do this activity because mastery of the material would mean that we're able to simplify all of the whatever information we learned. And I did find this activity a little bit challenging because I had a hard time making up a definition that a third grader would understand without confusing them. In the beginning, I didn't have a clear learning objectives listed, so I added that to my activity, and I made the activity a little bit clearer to give an overview in the beginning to help the viewer understand what was going on. And yeah, thank you for watching.